Welcome everyone to the third instalment of our Trends and Themes from Salone del Mobile. Today we are going to dive into the world of appliances. So obviously when we think about appliances, we're going to see a lot of technology and a lot of innovation. Some of these products are concept products, some of them are already in production, some of them are already available. So not everything you see today is necessarily available now or available in Australia. Still interesting to have a look at and see what's happening in the world of appliances from the show. So let's dive in. I'm going to turn my camera off now so that everyone can see the full screen. We will start with a bit of a wrap up. So for those of you that have seen the other webinars, this is going to be a repeat, so I do apologize, but in case you're watching this one for the first time, I think it's a good idea to get a bit of an idea of the scope of the show and why it's so important. So worldwide, this show is the show to attend in terms of design, new products. On a worldwide scale, it attracts, as you can see, this year, 370,000 people over the 6 days that the show was on. And the total exhibition area is just under 175,000 square meters of exhibition space. So that's a lot of sore feet, that's a lot of walking, but it's well worth it. So 1,950 total exhibitors this year. In the Eurocachina and the appliances section, there were 105 exhibitors over just under 24,000 square meters of space. In the bathroom section, we had 185 exhibitors in just under 18,000 square meters. And in the main Salone, which is the furnishings and furniture fair, 1,060 exhibitors, just under 130,000 square meters of space. And in the Salone Satelliti space, which is the young designers under 35, we had 600 designers this year from 22 countries over about 3,500 square meters. So there's a lot to see, there's a lot to do. And when you add in Milan Design Week and all the design districts on top, then that's a very busy week for you. But I will do my best. We will take a little walk through. This is a curated selection for you of what is happening in the appliance space. Let's take a look now at what we see as the main trends and themes coming through. So in the appliances arena, everything these days is about design and the user experience. So it's very much driven by how the user interacts with the appliance. What do they do with it? What do they need from it? Very, very particularly around technology. So this is really focused on user-driven innovation. So what can we do with the technology that's going to make the user experience better? How can we give the users what they need? Absolutely, it's about precision. High performance is a overriding theme through everything. Everyone is focusing on how can we make our appliances more efficient, do more things in the one appliance, how can we basically, make the performance as optimal as possible. It was really nice to see some colors coming in this year. For a long time, really, aside from a few key suppliers, hasn't been a lot outside of black, white and stainless steel in the appliances. So it was really nice to see a few more colors coming through this year. Definitely customization and personalization. So really looking at what we can bring to the table in terms of the appliance to either customize the appliance itself or to customize the user experience, to allow the user to really set the appliance up for the way that they need it to work. And very, very much around entertaining. So looking at what can we do in terms of climate control. This is specifically in the wine storage and wine cooling space, but very much focused around, what are we doing in our kitchens and how do we enhance that entertaining space. So let's jump in with our first example. So this was a gorgeous new product called Love, L-H-O-V, from Elica. So this is an integrated hood, oven and hob all together. So the Love, the L-H-O-V, so the H stands for hood, the H stands for hob, the O stands for oven, and the V stands for ventilation, and the L is because we love it when they're all together. So it's basically a very, very sleek unit. The idea is really around creating cleverness around the compactability of an appliance like this. Very, very cleverly, because it's all integrated, the ventilation system is able to manage and remove odors and vapors, not just from the hob, but also from the oven. So you don't get, when you open the oven, you don't get that big waft of steam that comes out. And for those of us who wear glasses, who then can't see anything and have to take their glasses off. So it's a compact design, so 90 by 36 centimeters, really makes optimal use of the space. Now, we were very lucky this year. We got to visit Elica's factory and showroom as part of our trip to Milan. And we had a meeting, or we were able to hear from Fabrizio Crisa, who is Elica's Chief Design Officer, and he was the person who was in charge of designing this product. And so we were able to hear from him personally about his innovation and his inspiration behind this product. And it was very much a considered approach, very much based on an investigation about how we cook and what we do with cooking and what we need from our cooking. And so really what his goal was to look at how we can make a striking aesthetic impact, but still have all the technology behind, still make sure that, for example, the oven cavity is maximized for space. Still have a look at, you know, how do people cook and what do they need from their cookers? And I just think it's a really clever approach to an all-in-one solution that is, yes, very applicable to apartment living or, you know, your multi-residential living, but also I think very applicable for a bigger kitchen where maybe you don't need 17 different ovens. You know, so I think too, you know, you look at the display, the digital display here, so they're really looking at making the operation of an appliance like this very user-friendly, focusing very much on digital displays that can be easily manipulated. Almost every appliance that you see is going to be Wi-Fi enabled, so it can either be controlled via an app or via other voice controls, as this one can. So, and again, you know, really, I just think it's cute, it's clever, it's got the backing of all the technology behind it. And luckily enough, it is coming to Australia, probably available here Q1 next year, I'm told, but we'll have to wait for an update on that. So keep your eyes peeled. This is from Baratza. So this channel solution has been around for a couple of days, but this year it was released with some new features. So the idea of this, it's an accessorized channel, mainly structured around the ventilation component, which you can see on the left there, and then looking at enhancing that. But it doesn't have to be fitted with a ventilation unit, it can be just fitted with the other accessories. So we talked about customization and personalization. So this is again another example where you have the frame, which is the channel arrangement, and then within that, you as the designer, you spec out that frame for whatever your client needs. So you can have scales, Bluetooth speaker, induction charger, there's a rotating socket holder, you can have a colander, bottle holder, a knife holder, there's a shelf or a glass drainer, there's a stand for a tablet or smartphone. You can really kit out that channel absolutely depending on what your client needs. As you can see here, you've got your choice between the stainless steel or the black finish. The black is stainless steel as well, but obviously choose between the two different color schemes. But I just really love this as an example, as a different way to approach an appliance in the kitchen. And it's a different way to approach the way that we can personalize a space like this and very much make it a space that is just for the person who is using it. Communication was everywhere at the show. There's pretty much not an appliance that you'll see on display that doesn't have some form of communicative technology, whether or not it's communication to an app or some form of remote control or voice activation or something. So this was cute from Siemens, whereas the communication here, in addition to the other communications, is directly between the range hood and the cooktop. So the induction cooktop and the inclined hood communicate with each other to guarantee an excellent result. So it's really taking the onus off the homeowner to know what they need in terms of extraction capacity. And it's very much about allowing the appliance to do what the appliance does best. So the hood will automatically adjust its extraction rate to what is needed depending on what is being cooked. So the cooktop sends information such as power level, temperature, other information, and then the extraction will start as it's needed based on what is happening on the cooktop. So for this year, Siemens' key theme for their stand was Shaping the Future Home, Intelligent Solutions for Your Kitchen. So here, this is where they're really thinking about, all right, well, it's nice that the homeowner can have access via a remote control system to our technology, but what if our pieces of technology could actually communicate with each other and really do that automatically for them? And I think particularly for some homeowners, maybe who aren't necessarily feeling that confident with knowing what to do, allowing the appliance to just do what the appliance knows it needs to do is probably not such a bad idea. Right, let's talk about this then. So we know these days we have a number of taps on the market that combine numerous functions all into one. So this is a new tap from Gessi, not available yet, but in production. I'm told we should be able to expect to get stock next year, but there are some hoops in terms of our WELS requirements, etc., that need to be jumped through. But this is a tap that combines absolutely anything that you would want in a tap, plus it will make you a coffee. So what you have here is you have ambient water. I've got to add all these up now. Ambient water, hot water, boiling water, lightly sparkling water, more heavily sparkling water, coffee, and you can see here there's two options for the coffee. You can have one which has just got the espresso pour, or you can have the other fitted unit which allows for a longer pour. So basically what they've done is they've looked at how can we get rid of as many standalone appliances as possible out of the kitchen. So now you don't need your SodaStream or whatever other fizzy water element you've got. You don't need your kettle, and now you don't need your coffee machine. And I had a taste. I can guarantee it makes a very, very nice coffee. Extraction in the cooktop is not new. So what we're seeing now is pretty much every major manufacturer is looking at what they can add to the technology to make them smarter and more efficient. So this is an example from Bora. Basically, what they're doing now is they're looking at how the technology behind the system can work better. So things like it knows what you've got on the stove. When you've got on the stove, you've got your cooking zones that can all work together. Excuse me. It's logically seeing what you've got on the cooktop and adding in the cooking zones together. You can have smaller zones for, say, smaller pots and pans, or you can have larger zones for larger pots and pans. You've got a really great compact structure in the center for the extraction system. You can even change the color of the center piece if you want. There are, I think, if I just check, it's red, green, and blue, I believe I saw. Oh no, here we go. Inlet nozzles available in orange, red, blue, jade green, light grey, sunshine yellow, and grey. So that way you can really personalize the color of that inlet nozzle. So just again, really looking at not so much changing the outside structure, although obviously that's always being revised and updated, but very much looking at where we can enhance the technology behind this extractor system where they're built into the cooktop. More clever technology from Bertazzoni. So Bertazzoni, been around, my goodness, since 1882, a made in Italy company, and their values are family, food, and engineering. So how Italian does that sound? But I think the three things can, exist together. Interestingly, Bertazzoni was recently added to the National Register of Historic Italian Companies. And I think that speaks to the longevity of its existence, but also the fact that, it continues to push the boundaries of, technology and also thinking, I think, about what families want. So beautiful new cooktop, winner of numerous design awards. Again, you can see we've got the combination of cooking and extraction function within that single appliance. It's a 4-zone cooktop, choose from 10 speed selections. It's just really looking at the efficiencies behind the technology behind how can we make cooking safer, more versatile, and just, I guess, make it really more efficient and effective for the person who is actually using the cooktop. Beautiful new Series 8 ovens from Bosch, very much around ensuring that meals are flawlessly cooked, as healthy as they can be, looking at the controls. Bosch is kind of known for its smart technology with cooking assistance via a Home Connect app, really making it easy for the homeowner. And I think really looking at how you can add in extra functions. So there's an air frying function that's been added as a standard feature for all the Series 8 ovens. There's a steam function that's been added for all the Series 8 ovens. So again, it's looking at, well, do we really need to have separate appliances for all of these things? They've added in a new function which is called Perfect Bake Plus, And it says here, the sensor constantly detects the humidity level inside, automatically determining the process of preparation and reaching the perfect baking point. Now, as someone who would love to bake bread, but absolutely fails every single time, I can see that this sort of technology might just make that a bit more achievable for me. I get that not everyone needs that level of technology, but I think if you do, then it's really, really useful to have that kind of technology available. Lots of built-in recipes as well, which is now fairly much standard across lots and lots of different appliance companies. You can get notifications to your smartphone when your food is ready. It will alert you if some sort of manual intervention is required. You can also receive notifications about oven maintenance or cleaning schedules. You know, really, I guess we're sort of getting to the point now where human intervention is probably not needed other than open a door and put something inside, and really the oven or the appliance will just work out what you need and go and do it for you. When we look at range hoods, we've got lots of technology happening in terms of the range hood. Not quite sure this photo is the best example whether or not the extraction would work that high up, but still interesting to see what is happening in terms of extraction. I do know that what looks simple is not necessarily simple. This particular system has a technology that allows each of the elements to operate independently. So when you start cooking, the range hood automatically activates and will adjust the suction power because it's constantly detecting what's happening in terms of temperature, air quality, if you take things on or off the stove. So it's very much using, I guess, its own intuition and taking the onus of that off the homeowner or the user of the appliance to kind of know what it needs to be doing. And I think that there's a lot of homeowners out there that would appreciate just not having that as an extra function that they have to perform. Cute new little dishwasher from, well, not little, standard size, 60 centimeters, but a very cute dishwasher from Wiezog, the Adora dish. So it's a large capacity dishwasher. It's just packs a lot in. I mean, you can see obviously here they've packed it to show the maximum capacity. Extra cutlery drawer at the top. I know that can be a bit polarizing. I personally love my cutlery drawer, but people love it and people don't. But so lots and lots of technology behind it. Fast program, only 27 minutes. Automatic eco-management, additional support for glassware. I guess just really thinking about all the things that you would need / want in a dishwasher to, you know, to really make it as efficient as possible. Can be fully integrated so you don't see a thing. And just I think a really beautiful example of, you know, really thinking about what the homeowner needs in terms of ease of stacking, ease of unstacking, you know, and the technology behind making it as efficient as possible. Now, this is cute. I have reached out to these guys. I can't find a distributor anywhere in Australia, so I suspect it's not available here, but you never know. I don't know if it would meet our standards. It may or may not, but I thought it was still worth bringing to you because I think it's a really cute, so this is basically an evolution of what we would know as the SodaStream. So it's a vessel for producing sparkling water. It has been awarded 2 Red Dot Awards, but now this is brand new, the built-in version is what's new. So previously this has been a standalone version. This one is the Touch Evolution. So it's the technology here is a new graphic interface, which helps make the appliance a bit more intuitive and easy to use. But really looking at building it in so it's got the same sort of aesthetic and the same sort of functionality as our other wall-mounted appliances, like your ovens, coffee maker, or any of the rest of those, but in a sparkling water dispenser. We talked about colour before and how we're starting to see some new shades come in. So this is the new Pearl Beige from Miele, which I actually think is absolutely stunning. It's such a nice, gentle shade compared to black, which obviously can be quite heavy, stainless steel, which can be quite bright, or white, obviously, which, you know, we don't kind of tend to see so much in ovens these days. But just really lovely and applied across their whole range. So you can achieve the type of example as you see in the photo here, where you've got your linear oven stack with your coffee maker stack all in the one shade with the matching finish. Really, really love, it's such a neutral, warm shade, and it's a beautiful balance of beige with that bit of grey behind it. So it makes it really, really good for, I think, Australian kitchens in terms of the types of colours and reflecting the types of kind of environments that we tend to get there, where we want to bring a bit of that outdoors, indoors. I think that kind of colour works in the example you've got here with a wood grain base, but I think it would work really, really beautifully with a whole range of other kitchen styles, whether you're going for a really modern kind of black or grey kitchen. I think it would work really well with a whole range of neutral kitchens because it's got that that kind of beige base with the grey undertone. So it would work equally well in kind of your lighter or your darker style kitchens, or any of your pastels. You know, I think beige is a very nice way to have a neutral, or pearl beige is a very nice way to have a neutral without it being too neutral, because there's that hint of lovely warmth underneath it, and particularly where you want to elevate something where you've got I don't know, maybe a client who's really wedded to your whites or your off-whites, or your creams or something. I think that kind of pearl beige is a really nice way to accent that and bring a little bit of that warmth and colour into the kitchen without going. Before that, there were a few notable companies that do a lot in colour, and Smeg is one of them. These I just think are the cutest little things. Now, they're not built-in appliances. These are from the 50s style range, which has been expanded this year with a new countertop oven and a new movable induction cook plate. Now, what I love about this is it's very much in keeping with the rounded 50s style of their fab ovens. So you've got opportunity there if you wanted to spec out a whole or a small oven, obviously more designed for, say, an apartment living or somewhere where you needed to be able to move it around or take it with you, for example. But it's very much around a 30-litre capacity. It's got combi steam technology, so it's still innovative. It might look like it's a bit old-fashioned, but it absolutely has the essence of modern technology in there. it's just got kind of everything. I just think it's the cutest little thing in the world. It's available in black, white, cream, pastel blue, which you can see here, a pastel green and a red as well. So yeah, I just love how Smeg is not afraid to bring colour to the table, and I understand it's not going to be for everyone, but yeah, I really just do love the fact that they're not afraid to go there. When we talk about customization and personalization, that can be a bit difficult in the appliance space because obviously they're mass manufactured. So the customization and personalization isn't necessarily in the function of the appliance. But in the case of these examples from Neff, what they've done is they've thought, well, in their own words, my kitchen, my rules. So what they've done is they've provided where you can change distinctive elements within an appliance. So you've got color shades in brushed bronze, anthracite grey, metallic silver, and deep black. And these can be changed, as you can see, on the handles and the side strips of the oven. So it's very, very possible for the homeowner to use their Flex design system to change the look of the kitchen at any time. And this can be applied to the hoods and the cooktops as well as the ovens. This is another example from Elica. So this is called Open Suite. And I think when we talk about customization and personalization, this is actually the perfect example. So this is based around a frame system, which then you, as the designer, kit out depending on the design of the kitchen and depending on what your customer needs for their cooking. So it's a hood system, and you can see here I've given you a couple of examples. So it's based off a frame. The frame can be a single frame, can be a double frame, it can be a 3-frame with the cooktop or the ventilation underneath, lighting, shelving, hanging systems. There are shelving options in glass, metal, wire mesh, walnut wood. You can also have a number of elements that are put together by the cabinet maker if they need to match certain other elements in the kitchen. It's just really, really clever because it expands out as far as you need it to expand out. You can just keep adding components on and kitting them out with what you need. So I just love the idea here that you've got this structure that allows you to be very, very specific and very personalized in the type of solution that you provide to your customer, but still utilizing all that technological advancement that you get from the fact that Elica is renowned for their hood extraction systems. Yeah, so just a really, really, I love this product, and I would actually love to see more people playing with this product in terms of really pushing the boundaries to see how far you can take design with what you can do with a system like this. Because really, when you think about it, it's a frame, and then within the frame, you just play with what you need or what your homeowner needs or your client needs. Yeah, so it's just a really, really clever. This gorgeous system is from Falmec. And again, this is based around a frame system with an extraction component. But then with the rest of the frame, you pick and choose what needs to be there for the client. So you can include a strip light, you can include hanging elements, you can include shelving elements, you can include, well, as you can see here, you can include glass storage. It's just a really lovely way to use space on the island without having to add a lot of bulk, because obviously it's a very simple frame structure, but you get a very contemporary aesthetic. So it's really up to you guys to then decide what are the components or what are the elements that are needed within the frame in order to create that really customized solution for the way that you're designing the kitchen. When we talk about entertaining, we're going to talk about wine cabinets, because that really is the main area where we see a lot of this focus. So this is an absolutely gorgeous example from ASCO. So again, it's not so much in the front end where we're seeing all the innovation these days. Most of the main appliance companies have very similar looking wine cabinets, but it's in the technology behind. So it's in the zoning and how many different zones you're able to create within the wine cabinet so that you've got this really optimum storage for each of the wines. What I really loved about this particular one was it's got the tasting unit, which you can see if I move my thing, you can see here. So this is like the tasting center, which is kind of built in and incorporated into the wine unit. In terms of technology, I mean, you've got things like perfect light conditions that can be set. You've got UV light protection if it's, say, getting a lot of natural light in. Humidity monitoring, I'll get it out there one of these days. Even you can counteract the vibrations that are caused by people walking past. So there really is a lot. You've got the usual app connectivity. You can even connect to a database that helps you manage your wine collection. And that means that you can locate wines if you've, say, using something like this to create a big cellar and you need to know which wine is located in which section or in which area. So yeah, you can check inventory fast. It's just really, really clever. And I'll read to you from the information that ASCO gave me here. So almost all of the integrated features are inspired by wine cellars, which for centuries have been the epitome of wine care. Every stage of the winemaking process, from selecting the growing area through cultivation and then creation, calls for a real love of wine. The amount of care that goes into maintaining a vineyard is nothing short of amazing. For the people who do it, it's a passion. So it's that passion that ASCO wanted to bring into this kind of solution, because this solution really is for your wine connoisseur, your person who is very passionate about their wine, that understands their wine and understands what their wine needs. So it really is very much about hooking into what is the similar passion. So you have a shared passion in terms of ASCO understands what the winemakers were trying to do, and it's the conduit then between the winemakers and the person who's going to be drinking the wine at the other end to make sure that it's optimally stored, and so that when you have it at the end, it's as tasty as it can possibly be. This cute little number is from LG. So it's using the InstaView technology, which is where you get to knock on the kitchen, knock on the appliance to see what's inside. But this is the entertaining version. So this is I think someone at LG might have sat down and gone, how do we make a nightclub in a fridge? And this is what they came up with. So the fridge has built-in Bluetooth speakers. It has built-in lighting options. So you can set your lighting and you can set your music and play your music via your Bluetooth or whatever. Thousands of color combinations because it's all set through LEDs. You can customize the fridge's color display, basically let the good times roll. This is a party product, perfect for, say, a man cave maybe, or pool room, or any other kind of entertaining venue, just, I guess, adds that extra element of party, party, party to any entertaining space. This is another wine cooler from Smeg. So again, very much around a focus, being an Italian company, as you would expect, very much a focus on wine production, and I think being sympathetic to, almost being that conduit again, really, between saying, you know, to the winemakers, look, we kind of understand what you're trying to do, and we want to make sure that this wine is looked after in that interim period between when you bottle it and when it gets drunk. They're kind of saying, look, let us be that vessel that looks after the wine. So all the technology is in the back end. You've got your 88 centimetre built-in wine cellar, which can hold up to 40 bottles, 2 independent temperature zones, cooling circuits, so you can preserve red and white wine at consistent temperature. Humidity levels can be controlled. Ergonomic bases to help with positioning the bottles. It's really thinking about kind of what do we need to do in this space to make sure that the wine is cared for. The 178 centimetre wine cellar can hold up to 83 bottles, or 105 if the accessories drawer is moved. So you can see that this is a real kind of cellar solution. It's not just a wine refrigerator. It's very much focused on a cellar solution. So with that technology behind it that allows you to treat the appliance as if it was a functioning wine cellar. So that brings us to the end of our appliances wrap up. Stick around, I have one more to go. The next one is a best of the rest. We weren't quite sure what to call it because it's really just all these things that I couldn't not bring to you, but they didn't really fit into any other categories. So stick around, that one is coming up soon. And if you saw anything in today's presentation and you would like some more information, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email address is up on the screen. And if you're keen on heading to Milan Design Week, then let's stay in touch. We are currently planning next year's tour, which will include a visit to Euroluce. So Eurocucina and the bathroom exhibition is only on every second year. Euroluce is on in the year that they're not on, which will be next year. So we're talking lighting technology, lighting design, lighting systems, and it's going to be fantastic. So thank you so much for joining me today, everyone, and I will see you in the next webinar.